Breaking news. A man with a stack of No Kings flyers in his vehicle has posed as a police officer and taken out 4 Democrat leaders with a long list of other targets was found in the car, including Ilhan Omar and Tim Walz and more. 2 have not survived. 2 are in critical condition right now as this is yet another incident that appears to be at the hands of the far, far left. You know, the people that Democrats, keep around for their demonstrations and this kind of stuff. But the same people that were, going after Tesla dealerships, the same people that are in the LA riots, they're the same people that were, mostly peaceful during BLM. This is a radical leftist organization of people that, in my opinion, is funded by, large-scale NGOs and things of that nature. Police are now searching for a former appointee of Tim Walz in connection with the incident in Minnesota, according to reports. The former appointee of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is now being sought by PD after taking out 2 Democrats, a woman and her husband, as they slept, and then getting 2 others later in the morning, although they are both at least alive as of right now. It comes after the assailant is thought to have impersonated a police officer when they entered the Champlin residence of Senator John Hoffman and his wife Saturday, firing on both of them, leaving them both critically injured. He then proceeded to the home of Democratic House Speaker Melissa Hortman, where she and her husband weren't so lucky. Local police and sheriff's deputies and the FBI have launched an extensive manhunt. During a Saturday morning press conference, officials said they are investigating the possibility of multiple people. So they don't even know for sure that it's a single actor. Brooklyn Park Police Chief Mark Bruley said the suspect's vehicle contained a manifesto and a list of targets, including both lawmakers, according to the New York Times. The first incident occurred just after 2 a.m. at Hoffman's home in Champlin, about 20 miles from Minneapolis. Hoffman and his wife were hit multiple times. This is the suspect right now. Oozes Democratic energy. These are the victims. The second attack took place around 4 a.m., 2 hours later, at Hortman Brooklyn's Park residence. After that incident, police engaged one of the suspects in a back and forth on the street, but they still managed to escape. Drew Evans, head of the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, confirmed that the suspect escaped during the exchange and still is on the run. So we don't know if it's 2 people or if it's 1 person. Certainly 2 hours time is enough to drive from one spot to another. It certainly, it certainly could be multiple, but I don't think it is. I've been briefed this morning on an ongoing situation involving targeted incidents. Tim Walz wrote on X, I've activated the State Emergency Operations Center. Local law enforcement in Champlin and Brooklyn Park have the full resources of the state of Minnesota behind them. Here we have pictures from inside the car. You see many flyers for No Kings. Now, that does seem counterintuitive, right? Like, why would he go after Democrats? The No Kings thing is all about Trump. So people are saying, oh, well, this is somebody that took them down. These were definitely not taken down posters. They are freshly printed. There are no staple holes in them. There's no tape. There's no damage from removing them. These are ones that this individual is clearly putting up. Police described the suspect as a white male with brown hair wearing black body armor over a blue shirt and blue pants. Brooklyn police issued a shelter in place at 5:30 this morning. Police are looking for the suspect in multiple incidents who is armed and dangerous. This is insane. Obviously, this is not the way to handle things. Definitely not the way to handle things. But this is, what the left has been doing for the past 2 years, and nobody knows. You know, nobody wants to talk about the guy that went into Josh Shapiro's house and tried to burn it down with him and his family in it. Nobody wants to talk about the leftists that, Molotov multiple Tesla dealerships. Former appointee of Tim Walz sought in these incident. No Kings flyers in car. There's some other interesting stuff that I was able to find through some Twitter sleuthing. So first of all, there was a list that included U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar and U.S. Senator Tina Smith. Governor Walz was also on the list, in addition to Attorney General Keith Ellison. Dozens of other Democrats from Minnesota were also included on the suspect list due to sources. So what's interesting is, so he was a Democrat, and he was going after exclusively Democrats. Now, maybe it's because that's just who's in power in Minnesota. But he was a far left Democrat. I mean, this is very established right now. He is a registered Democrat appointed by Tim Walz. His history is easy to look up. I don't know. You see this too. I found this on the guy too. Interestingly enough, this is, one of the women that didn't survive. And some people are saying it's because she voted against giving illegal immigrants aid and health care. Portman was the lone Democrat who voted to cut health care access to adult illegal immigrants. I did what leaders do. I stepped up and got the job done for the people of Minnesota. She broke down in tears in front of the cameras after siding with Republicans. This was shortly before she lost her life. There's a lot. This guy was involved in some sort of, Africa stuff. Hi, Tim Walz, can you confirm the man that allegedly just did what he did because she voted against funding illegal aliens? I mean, he had other people on the list, so I don't know that this was, that was the only reason. It seemed to me that they had a list of a lot of other people that they wanted to get at. What was interesting is, it could just be, a lot of times these people are just crazy. Maybe someone was talking to them in their sleep and this, that, and the other stuff. But here is, his name is 57-year-old Vance Bolter, full name Vance Luther Bolter. They, Facebook and all this kind of stuff have already taken down his Facebook pages. That's pretty, it's a pretty good confirmation. According to Minnesota Authority, flyers for No Kings movement were discovered inside the vehicle of the individual suspected of taking out State Representative Melissa Hortman. Here's something else. He was appointed by Tim Walz. Tim Walz goons are now taking out lawmakers who support legislation Tim Walz opposes. The Democrat Party is a Terry organization. This is a guy who works with an organization to, quote, help all African immigrants improve their lives in Minnesota. Does that sound like a right-wing MAGA guy? I don't think so. He's a part of Minnesota Africans United. MAU is a coalition of statewide organization to help all African immigrants improve their lives in Minnesota. So this guy was absolutely pro-immigrant, giving these people state funds. He's a leftist. Also, this guy's recently unemployed. This says from Data Republican. Here's another great drop. Vance Bolter, the suspect in today's incident, was the CEO of an international NGO called the Red Lion Group. But I couldn't find any photographs or digital records of its work, only a generic website. The Red Lion Group appears to have run out of funding a month or two ago. This is when he started looking for executive level jobs. This is probably because it was getting, USAID, it was getting funding for the government. She also posted they also received an SBA loan. She also put a bunch of USAID awards in the Congo got canceled right around the time he started job seeking. It's possible that these two things are related, that it's related to Doge. There's literally I have seen no indication in any way, shape, or form that this individual is a right-wing individual. Everything, points obviously to a left-wing thing. The inferior Morgan Freeman is wearing a shirt with blood-colored stains and cancel Trump sticker over his over his heart. I don't know who that is. Morgan J. Freeman. I don't know. This, does he have these things in his car? Everything else, he's working with Tim Walz, appointed by Tim Walz, working to bring in African immigrants to Minnesota. I'd say that it's pretty clear that this guy was a far leftist, an anarchist, or a communist, or whatever. Again, we'll find more. They took down his Facebook page really, really quick. But, I don't know. People are calling for Tim Walz to resign. I'm not sure what Tim Walz has to do with this. I mean, he's obviously a loser, but I mean, I don't know. And who knows if these other two are going to survive their injuries. I don't know. This is rough.
I'll stand for any questions.
Are there reasons to believe that these events were also targeted by the person in the manifesto in the car?
We don't have any direct links. However, there were some flyers that said "No Kings" within the suspect vehicle. And as we know, the planned events throughout the state of Minnesota today is a "No Kings" event.
Hey, I mean, maybe he was, he got fired from, because of the USAID cuts, and he lost his mind. CNN is now reporting that the hit list had nearly 70 targets, was found in the suspect's car. But of the 70 targets, the only one CNN describes are the abortion providers. What did it say about the others? So police found a hit list in the suspect's car with nearly 70 different targets, including abortion providers. So he was like a pro-life, anti-democrat leftist. That's very odd. I think we're going to need to see this manifesto. I mean, obviously they're not going to release it before he's caught. This is wild. The rhetoric that's been spewed by the left over the past 5 or 10 years is the reason that this is happening, and it's absolutely unacceptable. And of course, the blame game will begin now. Odds are it's probably just some unhinged lunatic, but it's difficult to know. And I'm curious what people say in the comments. Like, what do you think? How do you think this is going to turn out? Being like going after, being like radically pro-life, but also working for Tim Walz. It could just be a regular, total crazy person. It's going to be interesting to see. And of course, I will continue to keep you updated as everything breaks here in this case. So if you haven't yet, wherever you're watching right now, please subscribe or follow. For those of you that don't know, I do a live stream Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern on Quartercast on YouTube, and then on my Rumble channel, as well as Kick and Twitch. And I also stream to X, and on Fridays it's at 1 Eastern. So I hope that I'll see you tune in.